we the impact of that to me is the forward part, and there's a lot of differences in the book and from every area, but that forward part about God being present in your every inch of your day. God, and that is
God
to
being
me
present
a
in
message that has got to come back to the world. All these born again churches, they know God. God's just, but we need to get this published.
I like the revivalist culture that I've heard about.
And that would be a hard task, but we need to get that published.
Well, we can work on it.
Yeah, we will. We'll get it published. What revivalist?
Richard Gilpin. Do you remember Richard Gilpin, who was your mom's friend?
Yeah.
Who would come and visit, and I read about him in your mom's memoirs, and then I read his memoir, and he wrote about being revived and revival in his small country town and how it turned him around. He was 10, he was uneducated, he turned into a preacher, and that was his...
Gilpin was a superintendent, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's a district superintendent when we were in Alamosa.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be a preacher after a fourth grade education.
He was the greatest. He'd come in and he would tell us all these kinds of stories. And he'd have...
he came from a pretty rough background.
But they were all revived in the background.
One of the stories he told me was that he said, one time I was going in the mountains, you can't understand distance. He said, one time I was going to go across the river from the Rio Grande back over there about 10 miles, and I was going to go across the river, and so he started walking and walking and walking and walking. He got there, and he thought he was taking his clothes off and going to go swim because it was so far apart. I'm not getting it right, but he had a lot of, and that book I got
the book.
I've got it. I grabbed it from my mom's shelf, and then when I read your mom's memoir, I said, I recognize that name.
Well,
I'm kind of a book thief.
Too. Yeah, yeah. I remember when he had come to the house.
But yeah, and he was
true character.
A true character.
But I'd like to look more into the revival culture, just for my own sake.
I agree that we need to have a revival. We need to find God again.
Mm-hmm.
But what worries me is the fact that the people are looking for answers. They want the answer. They want, you go to these churches where the preacher says, I have the answer, and you listen to me, and then you'll be saved. And only I have the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's insecure people looking for a leader, looking for the answer.
I'd like a way to give a kid an answer in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You might not have any parents, and you might have a real crappy life, but I can give you 5 minutes of my time, and you're going to walk away with a mind to find the truth.
Well, that's if they find the truth, as long as they don't believe it's you.
Of course. They won't remember me in 5 minutes later.
They will. And I agree with that. And I just worry about the way the church is used to control people.
Mm-hmm.
And to say you control yourself.
Well, the thing is that right now the Methodist Church is not controlling anybody. They are in conflicts at every level of the church.
Why was he asked to leave from his past church, Paul?
Paul Babcock.
Yeah, he had conflicts down there at Fort Scott, and he it was really painful, and that's why he came up here, and he is not going to go across anything. He doesn't want to get involved with this issue in the church and this issue in the church.
He's been burned.
Uh-huh.
Is that
That's
what you're
sad.
saying?
He's burnt. Yeah, he's been burnt badly, and he just and his wife is just the opposite. She's brilliant, and
I met her at a craft group the first week they were in town.
Have you ever thought about ministry? Some form of it?
I want to preach the truth. You know, if I go back to my 4th grade journals, it will say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to show people the way. What's the way? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah,
We all know.
Huh?
We all know the way.
See, I forget what I was reading.
What are you reading now, John? This book?
What, here? Oh, I've been clear through it and I jump around now. In fact, I'm going back to Butterworth, Discover the Power Within.
Butterworth?
Have you read that book?
No.
Well, that talks about the spirit within each person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started reading that again the other day. I've read it probably 2 or 3 times, but it was amazing to me what insights I was getting again that I hadn't gotten before, because some of this, what we've been talking about, well, applied at a much greater insights. I was trying to find this and I can't.
Greater insights.
What?
Oh, greater insights. I'm just writing that down in my head.
About our journey and what is composed within our journey, and it talks about sacrifice. I'll have to find that again. It's in here someplace, but it isn't sacrifice for other people. It's sacrifice within oneself, and what the sacrifice is sacrificing what we want to do in as far as to our bodies, sacrificing, I guess, like not eating too much, things like this, and that's what projects us on our journey. We gain insights from that.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Self-discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Self-discipline.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have it with everything except chocolates. I'm in the process of getting off my pain meds. You know, and I had gotten up to, when I had this rotator cuff surgery, I was up to 4.5, 10 grams a day of oxycodone, and it's very addictive. And finally, you talk about insights. I was getting ready to reorder my oxycodones, and I realized that I wasn't taking them for the pain anymore. I was taking them for the high. And you know, and when I say high, I'm not talking about drunk high. You're talking about feeling good, feeling positive.
We're going to save the world, Uncle. You better Keep
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah,
Did you hear?
yeah, and it's so addictive. It really
Ruth Ann-
is.
Mhm.
It really
Ruth Ann Nutt fell.
No.
She it was they're 90. She and her husband, and he was the doctor, Don Nutt. You went in
banker.
and they're up in the place right here in Lawrence,
Brandon Woods.
and but the doctor said she didn't fall. It broke and she fell.
Huh.
It broke right there, and so
A leg?
hip.
Oh God.
Broke her hip. It didn't. It was. She hadn't fallen. She just
It just cracked.
cracked.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That'd be worse than falling and breaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause that means what else?
Well,
Yeah.
And growing old is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Ask John.
Mm-hmm.
Now even with these things, I've had them tip over with me, and I've fallen here in the last month probably 3 times.
Oh God.
No,
Oh God.
And
don't.
the kid, one of them, you see all those, our great grandson comes out, see all those toys there?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was trying to, whether I was getting in the chair or out of the chair anyway, I fell over into them.
Oh Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Hit my head on that, but that, it wasn't that bad. It didn't break anything. Just got a few sore places.
Well,
Mhm.
just
But-
go ahead.
But there's been other times when, because of this back problem, I can't get my feet. Right now, I walk like a duck because I keep my feet way out
Yeah.
so that I can
Yeah.
catch my balance,
Yeah.
or try to. And so we all have our challenges.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's during those challenges that, they talk about oxycodones and the suicide. And sometimes I believe that it's not the oxycodone that causes the suicide, it's the pain.
That's right.
You just get to the point where pain is not worth living with.
Right.
And
All values
they do.
decrease.
They do.
Mhm.
And life and appreciation of life decreases.
Right.
And it just
Got
needs
it.
to be recognized at times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It sure
It
does.
isn't the pain medication really. It's
Yeah.
a lot of the
Yeah.
other things.
Yeah.
But they want to get you off of this
Mm-hmm.
codone and or anything, the opioids, but they don't have anything to replace it.
They don't.
Mhm.
They don't.
And so what are you supposed to do?
Well, in your case, you keep using them. You don't abuse them. You don't
Right.
abuse them.
It's
No.
but the difference is those young people who are
Right.
you and need those, but those young people that use oxycodone, it's just fabulous.
Well, then we should write for them. We should write for them. And how do you save them? If you took a group of young folks on a youth retreat, what worked for you in the past? Or what could work for them?
I just read the other day that a heroin addict now is, and she started with the opioids and went to heroin, and now she smokes pot.
Mhm.
And the smoking pot gets her through the bad parts.
Mhm.
I'm all for that. I'm sorry.
Without,
My husband illegally smokes pot when he's hurting so bad
Mhm.
that he just can't function.
I'm all for.
yeah, I don't see
Pot.
anything wrong with
Pot.
the medical pilot.
I don't either.
Well, why don't we start a rehab in our 10,000 acres of Colorado on one side and a pot farm on the other?
That's a good.
Get off of the hard stuff and onto the pot.
There may be.
And then
yeah.
live in a teepee here in a
I think
sweat
when
lodge
you're
and a
on something. when I say
10,000
on
acres.
pot,
It's a lot of
when-
land.
when
Are you
you're
kidding?
able to relax enough
It's a lot of
and
land.
the pain is eased enough, then you can find God. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I mean, and there are times that the pain is such that you're not looking for anything.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I
Yeah,
think
I get.
yeah, we'll start.
What don't
get
you agree with, Kirby?
the pot.
You don't agree with pot.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I get in discussions with well, particularly my primary physician about pain, and
Yeah.
Mhm.
I said one day, have you ever had this condition to know what kind of pain it produces? Well, no, but that doesn't mean I don't know about pain. I
say,
didn't.
yes, it
I
does.
didn't continue to say, if you haven't had this, you have no idea
No.
about what pain is.
No.
Mhm. Mhm.
Did
Yeah.
yours start from your ruptured disc? Is that what started you?
It was a bad hip, and that it's all the combinations of,
Threw everything off.
yeah. And at the present time, well, it's mostly coming from my back, but it's interesting because it goes and centers in that hip still.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Can
I
I
think
ask a question here?
Yeah.
As you know, my car was stolen and destroyed, and I don't have a second car, and I don't even care, honestly, except for this meeting.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't have to go to the store anymore, and we've got a car. We've got a nice new Lincoln car. I'm happy. But would it be possible to do this like at 10:30 or 11 on Wednesday? My wife is a visiting nurse. She's a hospice nurse, and she's off Wednesday, and I could be here Wednesday,
Mhm.
and come here. Do you want to meet here now?
Mhm.
and
Is that all right?
well,
Or go to Kirby's and
well,
I vote for here.
Wednesday at the present time, we have coffee there.
I
The
know,
lodge.
I know,
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I was thinking about 11 o'clock. You have 9 o'clock coffee.
9, 10,
Well,
10:30.
I can pick you up
at the present
anytime.
time,
Mhm.
I haven't been going to coffee anyway, so.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
All right, well-
I basically could do it most any time Wednesday.
Kirby goes. You
Mhm.
still go.
I still go, and it was down to, for a while, there was only 2 or 3 of us, but it's getting back in gear again, and like it was
Well,
9
something to think
yesterday.
about. Are you living in
9
Lawrencetown?
yesterday.
I'm in Overland Park, but I have every weekday free
No.
because I only work overnights.
So,
Really?
Hmm.
so it's when it would work
And I
out
can
for
type up your
you
book
as far as
anytime.
time
Okay.
Mhm.
is concerned.
Okay.
Why, because I can,
So you could go to coffee and then come out here afterwards.
Mhm.
So if we could do that on Wednesdays.
Mhm.
Kirby and I can come together if you could pick up Kent, or if
Well,
not, I can.
on
pick
Wednesday
up,
I can drive.
That's right. On Wednesday
On
you
Wednesday
can
I
drive.
can drive.
That's right.
And we could do it at 10:30.
Okay, like next week and then the week after.
Is that all right with you, Kirby?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
I think it'll be fine as far as Sharon's concerned. I'll
You
have to check with her as far as our
Sure.
schedule's concerned.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna kind of skip out. I want to be here when your
Preacher
minister
comes.
but I'm having back issues,
Oh,
and I've spent enough days in bed that with the holidays coming up, on my good days, I've just got to get stuff done for the holidays.
Mhm.
But I would like to come when
Okay, now I have to make sure he